Hi, Monica here. Oh my gosh, it is so freaking windy outside. I'm like, it's been blowing practically every day. So to finish out, I got to go grocery shopping yesterday. And usually when I go grocery shopping, I get to hit a thrift store. It's kind of like my treat for being tortured because I cannot stand shopping. It's like one of those things where I just wish I didn't have to do it. So at the thrift store, I am a bookaholic. And so I found a really cool traditional Czech cuisine. I'm always looking at different nationalities or cultural magazines or cookbooks because there's just some really awesome ways to use things that I might not have thought about doing. And it doesn't mean that I'm really going to follow the recipe, but it gives me ideas and maybe something to add to a recipe that I'm already using, or just some things, you know, some cool things. So yeah, and this is one of these recipe books that if somebody said, hey, do you want to make a recipe book? This is the kind that I would want to make. It has great photos on every page, and this is a plus. I know so many people who, when they buy a recipe book, it's because of the great photos. And so whenever somebody tells me recipes or photos don't sell a book, I'm like, you're full of crud, you know? Unless it's something like this, Stocking Up. And I'm not sure if I have this one. I know I have a few of the Stocking Ups, but these are some really great go-to guides if you do any type of self-sustainability. Like look at, I just opened the book, Pickled Nasturtium Buds. I'm like, there's all kinds of fantastic horseradish and vinegar, okra pickles. I mean, you're just flipping through it, and here's lamb's quarters, lavender leeks, lemon balms, lovage, that basically telling you ways to preserve herbs. So like if you don't have this book in your homestead reading room, you're going to want to add this. So not sure if I have this one. There's, you know, Stocking Up 2, Stocking Up 3. So I'm going to check to see if that's already in my library or not. And then the Complete Outdoor Builder. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's so many awesome outdoor projects in this book. We'll see if I can't maybe put some together and show y'all some projects. This one sounded pretty interesting. Newspaper, pennies, cardboard, and eggs for growing a better garden. One thing really quick that kind of like stood out, pennies. So basically adding copper into the soil. And it says basically transform a good garden into a great garden in one season. So basically it's fortifying. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know I have got to fortify my ground. It is horrible. I don't know of very many places in Arizona that have great growing conditions anyway. But so I do need to fortify. And so I'm like, this looks pretty cool. This looks like some good reading material. But getting back to pennies, you do know that you have to have a 1982 penny or earlier for it to be copper, don't you? So you just can't go grab all the, you know, any pennies out of your purse right now and throw them out there, or, you know, that's not going to work. You actually have to check the dates nowadays. I don't know when this book was made, but or if it even mentions that, but yeah, did you know our pennies aren't even copper anymore? So that's something to kind of remember. Something that always inspires me are fun books that kind of are like awesome spaces and things that might give me idea or inspiration. And so Where Women Create is a pretty cool magazine. I enjoy seeing it, and I don't really, it's pretty expensive. But here at the thrift store, I found a book, and so I'll probably flip through it, might part with this one, might keep it, don't know. The fun thing is I don't spend a lot on these books. So my library is not like I'm running out and purchasing every book brand new, unless it's like a killer must-have kind of book. I mean, I have been known to spend $70 on a cookbook that I needed, and I might share that one with you sometime. But right now it's a secret which one I spent. I'll let you guess. Can you figure out which cookbook I spent $70 on? And then there's some archaeology books and some of our research books that we have for our museum that we, you know, they're expensive. They're hard to come by. They're antiques and rare. So it's not uncalled for, but for the most part, I am a scavenger. I love looking for cheap books. And this one was right up my alley. I found a Cooking with Honey. So I can't wait. I don't know if I've seen this one before, if my mom has it, because the jacket is missing. I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked it up to see, but it's got some really great, cool recipes, the heritage of honey, some more great reading here. And then to add to our museum collection, I found the story of the Great American West and exploring the West. And they just have some really great old photographs in here. And sometimes when I'm reading these kind of things, documentaries and historical information, I actually get ideas on homesteading. So with that said, I'll, you know, look through and read through all of these books just to make sure that there's nothing in here that I can actually even apply to my life, much less, you know, we need to learn from the past. And so I'm all excited about these. So these are some of the books I just picked up. And to finish off, yesterday I also, I have been searching and searching and searching for honeydew seeds. Dan's favorite melon is honeydew. He absolutely loves it. But when I was looking for melon seeds, I could barely find these honeydew anywhere. And yesterday I was at one of the big box stores and I saw some honeydew seed packages and I got all excited, only to find out that somebody had ripped them open and stole the seeds out of them. Talk about being so depressed. I'm sitting there going, I finally found them, and then they're gone. So I sat there searching through all the seeds packets, hoping somebody just didn't put a few away, and sure enough, I found 2 packets in the wrong spot. So I'm like, people are just rude nowadays. I'm like, that's just rude. 1, putting the seed packets back in the wrong location, and 2, opening them up and stealing seeds. I mean, it's not like this is something that you must have to live. That's just crazy. I'm like, I guess somebody got excited, didn't have the money, and just like, what the heck? So yeah, Dan's favorite is honeydew. So it's and I have saved the seeds from grocery store plants before, or, you know, melons and stuff before, but I just don't get a very good yield off of them. So I need to really research on how I could get some really nice honeydew and have it where they are, you know, an heirloom variety, something that I can gather the seeds to, and something that I can have and be self-sustaining on, where I don't have to sit there and panic and wonder, where in the heck am I going to find my honeydew seeds? So yeah, that's something. So if you have any ideas, I'm like, and are willing to share with me what variety that you grow and whether it's heirloom or not, please let me know. Oh, I've just got to keep on wetting these. Once they're established, you don't have to water Ocotillo, but these are brand new that have just been put here. A friend donated them to the homestead for part of our native garden. Ocotillo is usable. You can make tea out of the flowers. And so basically I am adding this to the native spot. He gave me 3 of them, so they've just been transplanted. What, Kitty? What? And so I'm just going to kind of wet them down. Trying to keep the roots. They got a little dry. They were out of the ground for probably about 24 hours. I was in such a rush when I got home with them but they're pretty forgiving. So I'm, this one already has greened up a bit. Kind of happy. So I'm just giving them a little bit more water. In the native garden, it's really nice because we got mesquites everywhere, and right now the mesquites are blooming and you can hear the bees, my honeybees are all over them. Even in these winds, the bees are out here working and gathering nectar, and so I hope to have a little bit of a mesquite honey harvest, but I don't know if I will. It's been so rough for these girls this year. Happy bees. Well, the native garden definitely needs, we're in a drought, and we really do need to add, right next to the cat. You see that twig? Right to the left of that little twig right there. That is a night blooming cereus, queen of the night. And it is actually also a native and perfect spot for our native garden. The tubers, the big root ball system is actually edible on those, and the people that lived here 800 years ago, 1,000 years ago, you know, the ancestors, they basically had to live off the land, and this is actually one of the plants that they lived off of. And so it's going to be a featured item in our native garden, although it won't be something that I harvest ever. It's just too, I think they're even protected. So I'm like that, and they're just too precious. When they bloom in the night, they are absolutely gorgeous. Something else that's in the native garden that's actually just growing on its own, and we've got it kind of protected by some rocks, is pincushion or fishhook cactus. And what's really great is that they are also edible. They get a little teeny red fruit on them after they have these gorgeous pink flowers, which the bees love. And the little red fruit tastes like a cross between kiwi and strawberry, which is absolutely delicious. Another plant that I don't need to add, that's here naturally all by its little self, is cholla. So the buds are actually edible. This one really, like I said, we're in a drought. This one really could use some water. So I'm gonna probably hit it every now and then with some water. But what's edible, the cholla bud right there to the left of that fruit, you can see the double one right there. So basically that cholla bud is great in salsas and stews and everything. It's a delicate process to harvest them, but again, it is an edible. A little addition to, you know, my bees out here working and getting some mesquite honey. What actually did, these are a huge food source for the people that lived here before grocery stores. And this is the mesquite will get a bean on it, and it makes a great sweet flour, and actually you can even make a drink out of it. So there's all kinds of uses for the mesquite beans once the flowers are gone. Also in the native garden is the saguaros. These are just babies here, but eventually they will get fruit on them, and the fruit is of course very edible. It's Dan's favorite. And the ribs of a dead saguaro is actually used for making housing. So, you know, protection from the elements. So another big used item here in the Southwest. What, Bullet? What do you want, kitty? You're just being naughty. He just is rubbing. He just wants loving and loving and loving. So I think the last thing I have so far in the native garden, and I planted this here, it is I think it's found in 2 valleys over. It's not something that's here naturally. We have the yucca elata, or the soap tree yucca. This is a banana yucca. And the reason why I really wanted to put it into our native garden is because I've read archaeological reports, especially one from New Mexico, that talked about some food that was found in a cave that dated like something like 700, 800 years old. And it was a banana yucca fruit stuffed with all kinds of seeds from all kinds of other plants. And they literally called it a yucca burrito. So, and I'll have to find the paperwork on that, or the research information on that, to do a full little write-up about the use of the banana yucca. So those are just a few of the plants that are naturally here, and a couple of them that I brought in. And what, buddy? Oh, you're such a sweet boy. So this is the beginning of the native garden. Hope you enjoyed so far.